Yo, what is going on, everyone? It's your boy, the Chicken, coming to you live here on this pretty peaceful fall evening. It is about 57 degrees. We had a frost this morning. Lows tonight will dip down to around 42, which is good because we've had 2 nights with frost in a row and it's only October. Typically, it's something you don't see here until like early November. But that's besides the point, because today we're talking about winterizing the chicken coop, and my rooster better not ruin this video, or else, yeah, the video's gonna suck. So let's begin, starting off with the exterior. I want to start off by saying scan the coop. You see, this coop, I like to hit the walls a lot like that to test its durability. Not really. I just hit it like that. It's not really like heavy. You could do it as well if you're making a video on this sort of matter. It's sort of to prove your point that like, oh, you're emphasizing your point, but it can also be sort of a durability test. If that causes it to collapse, you may or may not need a new coop for starters, because you just caused an entire wall to collapse. But to go to a second shot, oh yeah, that might mean there might be some flaws in the building you got, and count your lucky stars if some predator hasn't yet gotten in to this chicken coop. Now here's the one part I love to do with chicken coops in the winter, is scan for cracks. Especially if you're up where I am at in the Northeast. Last winter we got down to negative 18 degrees. And it was windy that day too. And the chicken coop stayed well above freezing. Like, I'm talking, and it's probably in the upper 30s, low 40s. Despite the coop really only being able to trap cool in the summer and keep it from getting too hot in there, he was also able to sustain fairly well to that environment. Also, make sure you have good ventilation. Insulation with a coop this big is a little bit difficult, but it is entirely possible, so be sure to research your way into getting some form of foam or insulation. This part's optional, but electricity in your chicken coop if you can. We have that here. It's sort of like the optional electricity. Like, you plug it in and then the lights will begin to turn on. Now this light right here is a motion sensored light. Right up there's a pretty handy light for being in the chicken coop in the winter, especially if I'm trying to film a video, and since daytime is pretty limited there, you get all that there. And then electricity can also help function a lot of exterior things. It can also help function interior things such as outlets, which should allow for things like heat lamps, space heaters. I would 100% not recommend putting a space heater in your chicken coop. Be careful with the heat lamp and all that whatnot. Now let's move on to the interior of the chicken coop. For starters, I'd love to talk about these things, cool little automatic chicken coop doors, because trust me, when you press one of these buttons, it'll close it, but it'll do it itself sometimes. It has little sensors that'll be able to detect whether it's sunrise or sunset. And the chickens will abide by that. Typically it opens about 25 minutes before first couple chickens come out, and I think my cat is trying to get a mouse or something like that, and it just escaped. So yeah, now let's move on to the actual interior of the coop. For starters, you want to add more shavings to the coop. You want to make sure there's more shavings in that coop than ever before. Make sure this door is ready to be shut and opened at a time's notice, or else there won't be. Or else in the winter there will be the possibility that it gets cold in the chicken coop and your chickens get frostbite. And also, if one of your chickens does happen to get frostbite, it's typically either on the comb or wattle. It's not a terribly big deal, although you might want to get it checked up with the veterinarian if they start actually like noticing it. Like, my chicken Lovey got frostbite as she spent a little bit too long out in those wind chills that one day back in February this year. I specifically remember that day in infamy. I believe it was February 3rd. That's how infamous that is. A lot of these chickens will get frostbite, and it's okay. As long as it doesn't get too severe, it's nothing that needs to be worried about. My rooster Waldo, when he was still alive, would get frostbite terribly, and the chickens would pick at his comb, his feet. He didn't really have any good toes. He didn't even have a waddle by the time he was unfortunately wiped off the face of the earth by a gang of coyotes. Anyways, that's all I got for you today. If you would like to see, now be sure to click the video on the screen right now. Trust me on this one, bro. You'll enjoy the video. Just click on it, man. It's waiting for you. It's waiting for you. It's waiting for you. Comment 62 in the comments below. Click on the video. It's right there.